These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Frank 26. It's a Franklin, Tennessee bank story. Bank story person says, I'm a pastor south of Nashville. Yesterday, I thought I'm going to do my due diligence and reach out to some of the banks in my area. The Franklin slash Brentwood area south of Nashville is the richest county in the United States. The first bank was Pinnacle Bank, the oldest bank in Nashville. Talked to the bank branch manager and she knew nothing. She knew zero about it. I walked over to the Wells Fargo, said I'm curious if you guys could verify and exchange foreign currency. Her eyes lit up. She said, which currency have you got? I said, the Iraqi dinar. She said, sir, we do not. And the reason we do not is because there have been several times Wells Fargo has got burned by bad currency. I thanked her for her time and I thought, okay, 2 strikes. Let's try Chase, which is 50 yards away. I walked into Chase in Franklin, Tennessee, asked for the branch manager. I said, sir, do you do anything with foreign currency? He said, yes, we do. He said, which currency have you got? I said, the Iraqi dinar. He said, absolutely yes, and he was very excited about it. We were standing right there in the middle of the lobby, and he didn't try to hold back his facial expression, language, or anything. He said, yes, we would love to do business with you. Frank said, did he say anything else like, yeah, we know, or we're in preparation, we're getting ready? Bank story man said, I said, how are you aware of that? He said, we've been waiting for this to transpire. I said, depending on the amount of dinar our group brings into you, can you work with us on the transaction fee or even eliminate it? He said, sorry, sir, we are not. The way Chase got it established, they have it baked in. That was his exact words, baked in transaction fee into the rate. He can't change it. I said, so no matter what outlet location or the amount of dinar, he said, that's right, it will not change. Frank said, what was the fee? He said, the man said, around 4%. Frank said, wow, I've said a fair rate is anything like 1, 2, 3%. I guess they decided to go 1 more percent. That's a lot of money. The man said, I also want you to be aware of something. He said, when you come in to do your exchange, he said, realize we can only do $5,000 increments at a time. All right, Claire has an article, quote, Election Commission, the preliminary results will be announced this evening and we will conduct a manual count in front of everyone. Jeff says since October of last year, Iraq's federal elections, they have been setting the economic stage for the rate change. They're done setting the economic stage. They don't have any more economic steps to do, and that's why they're finishing the very last step of removing and cleaning up corruption at the second half of the government, the provincial level. Pimpy says, I get it. There are people out there telling you it's going to happen overnight because they have an electric payment system. No, they're not going to change your exchange rate just because of the electronic payment system. The electronic payment system will help influence it once it's up and fully implemented, but it has nothing to do with being reinstated. It'll keep increasing in increments, just like I said. All right, Militia Man says everybody knows Iraq is about to go international and they're going to have a digital transformation. When they have this investment budget and they start spending, Iraq is going to be filthy rich with revenue streams from the electronic borders, agriculture, tourism, mining, sulfur, phosphates. They're going to have revenue like no other. There isn't anything else like it in my lifetime that I can see is going to trump Iraq. Don't forget, Iraq has massive amounts of hydrogen for clean energy. Nobody else is talking about it. The amount of money and revenue streams in Iraq is going to have is almost incomprehensible. It really is intense on how much money these guys are going to make on a regular basis. Sandy Ingram has an article, quote, Iraq links Baghdad U.S. Embassy attackers to security services. Sandy Ingram says the attacks against U.S. forces have continued. The Iraqi government said several people who are alleged to have attacked the U.S. Embassy in Iraq last week have links to the country's security services. Mark Z via PDK article, quote, IMF staff concludes staff visit with Iraq. They met with Iraq authorities in Amman, Jordan on the 17th to discuss recent economic developments. They are not worried fiscally about Iraq and things are coming along nicely. Quote, inflation has declined from its January peak and is projected to stabilize in the coming months, helped by the Central Bank of Iraq's CBI's tighter monetary policy passed through from the exchange rate revaluation, unquote. Mark Z says they are telling us what they are doing. Nader from the Mideast says the United States have signed off on everything and threw the ball to the IMF. Now everything is in the hand of the IMF. The World Bank, Treasury, CBI all met. This is how it's going to go now. As soon as they delete all the dollars from the Iraq, things are going to change. And lastly, Frank26 says, I like the idea from the 20th to the 25th. Isn't that a good time to bring forth a new exchange rate? Why? Frank says, because they've only used 20% of their budget all year. That's insane. What are you waiting for? New exchange rate? You say you're going to use the other 80% from the 20th to the 25th. What did you tell the citizens of Iraq is going to happen on the 1st of January 2024? They can't use any other currency. What are they going to use? Rocks to buy things with? Shoot, rocks are probably more valuable than the used toilet paper that you've got right now. The 20th to 25th is logical. The 1st onward is logical.